guys, it's Lilly May coming to you live from Las Vegas.
And it's LindaRose coming to you live from Maine.
I am so excited to be back on today from our holiday break we took, and we have some really cool things planned for this new year.
Yeah, and I know my grandmother is going to clown me in the comments for wearing a beanie in the house with a t-shirt on. We were filming a TikTok before, and my hair is... We're not going to take the beanie off, or else I'm going to look like I've just rolled out of bed.
Oh, that's great. So today we're going to be airing an interview we did with Mattie. She is an amazing singer-songwriter, and she was so cool to interview. We had a great time, and yeah, it was just an amazing experience.
Yeah, and I don't remember what... English isn't her first language. I don't remember what her first language is. And she did so amazing. Language barrier is something that we faced with one of our earlier interviews as well. So, and we're having someone else that the English isn't their first language just really proves how largely we're branching out, and it makes us so happy that we have this opportunity to film with her, especially since a lot of you probably know her as well.
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and show her interview. Make sure to stay tuned after the interview because we have a few announcements. Mattie, thank you so much for coming on today to do an interview with us.
Hello. So it's nice you asked me.
I'm so excited. So for our first question tonight, I wanted to go ahead and ask if you could introduce yourself and talk to us a bit about your journey with music.
Music, yeah. I did write a bit down because I wanted to translate it in front because I'm Dutch, you know, so I give it a try. My name is Mattie Luiijf. A lot of American people say Mattie, but it's Mattie. I'm 65 years old, young, and I'm a teaching assistant with refugee children since the last 20 years. And before I worked with physically handicapped children and with difficult to educate children. They always say the parents were difficult to educate. I started to sing in a choir when I was a child. I think I was 8 or 9 years old, I guess. My memory is far away, you know, when you're 65. And my mother and father, they both sang in a choir. And my father conducted too. And my mother sang solo like Ave Maria in the church. And she learned to play mandolin and harmonica in her teenage years. And she loved to sing then already. And later my mother learned how to play the piano. And so as a child, I have 2 brothers. We all learned general musical education. Is that right? And after that, we could choose an instrument. And I chose the guitar when I was 11 years old. And my older brother chose the piano, and my youngest chose the percussion. So, complete band in the family. So nice. And the first year I got a very cheap guitar because my parents, we were not rich. So they were thinking, first try if you're really going further with it, of course. And I got a very cheap guitar, and I received a chords lesson 1 year from 11 till 12 years old. And then I got a better guitar because I really loved it. And then I went for 4 years in a music school for learning classical guitar. And I have to tell you that I did most of it by ear. I learned to read notes, of course, but when I think of it, I did a lot just by ear. That's the way I learned it easier, I think. And I always kept playing guitar and started to learn and sing covers when I was a teenager, from Bob Dylan, Neil Young, Cat Stevens, Joni Mitchell, Melanie, Donovan, Eric Clapton, Jim Croce, James Taylor, and a lot of musicians from my time.
That was so interesting to hear about your background with music and stuff, and I think that's so cool.
Yeah, I think it's nice to know. And I have 3 daughters, and I did the same as my parents did. You go for the music lessons and learn the notes, and then you can choose an instrument. I think it's so important in life, you know, to have the ability to make music. And I think it gives a lot. It really gives a lot to children, to me as an adult too. Yeah.
Absolutely. I started playing music at 6, and it's been something that I've stayed with, and it's so helped me in every aspect of my life.
Yeah, yeah. So that's good. And you know, when I was a teenager, I took my guitar with me on holiday, and we were always camping. So in no time, there was a crowd around us, around the tent, and we made music and we sang together. And it brought and it brings still a lot of joy, and that's so important. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I know especially, music, it definitely brings a lot of joy to a lot of people, and
Mhm.
it's music for me. I write poetry, and music for me is a huge inspiration because I write music as well, or lyrics.
Mhm.
I write lyrics, and
Yeah, yeah.
most of the time my lyrics turn into poetry pieces, just because
Mhm.
they flow better for me for poetry. I can think about it easier. And
Yes.
music does bring so many opportunities, and it brings so much joy to me and a lot of people that I know. And it's such a huge part of my life, even though I'm not very educated in it.
Mm. And I always was only playing in, you know, on holidays and for my family, for my friends. That was it. And then COVID came, and my oldest daughter, she not now, but she used to play the piano and she sings. And she told me about Socially Distant Fest. She lives in the south of the Netherlands, and we live here in the northeast. And then she said, "Oh, Mom, maybe that's something for you. Have a look." And so I had a look in March 2020, I guess. And then in April 2020, I thought, I'm going to sing a song. And I was very, very shy. When I look back to that first times I sang on Socially Distant Fests, it was a bad sound because I sang on my laptop, and that's not a good sound to sing on. So I learned to sing. It's better on the telephone. My microphone on the telephone is much better. And I was very shy, and you know, it's now I sing more than 2.5 years. And in February 2021, so a year later, something, I started to write my first own songs. And I really, I was thinking, why didn't I do that before? I have no idea. But I have written now 30 songs. It's crazy. And I really love it. And I don't know why I didn't try it before.
Writing music is definitely a process. I've been working on writing for about 2 years now, and it's something that is definitely helping me grow as a musician, and it's great to write
Mhm.
music. It's definitely been a process too, learning how to live stream on Social Distance Fest. I was watching some of your live streams the other day, and you are so talented, and you have a beautiful voice, and you're so talented with the guitar too.
Thank you. Yeah, guitar is, of course, I played already when I was 11. So, and I always kept playing guitar. So that's, yeah, you don't lose it, you know, if you do it. There were years I played a lot less, of course, because I raised 3 children and I didn't do that. But I always kept playing and singing. I love to sing. I did sing in my 30s too in a choir, in a women choir, not in a church, but just for fun. And I really love that too. And now I found out that maybe I will take some singing lessons, because I never had singing lessons. And I really like to learn to use your breath better in music, in songs. But I found out too that because I sing almost every day now, since 2.5 years, my voice kept getting better because it's getting trained just by singing. I think so, that it works like that.
Absolutely. Practice makes perfect. The more you do something, the easier it gets.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool to have someone who's my family's Polish, very predominantly Polish, and my great grandmother speaks very, very little English, very
Mm-hmm.
little English, and it's very, very cool to be around her, because with how little English she speaks, she teaches me Polish and I teach her English, and
Nice.
it's a very cool dynamic, because it's easier, because I'm very, very bad at speaking Polish, because both me and my dad got more of our English genes than we did of our Polish genes of our family. And it's so cool because I'm learning Polish and I teach my dad Polish. So it's really cool to have someone on here who English isn't their first language, because I've been around that my whole life, and it's just interesting to hear. And your English is very good too. So it is
we learn it in school here. We learn English, French, German, and Dutch, of course. And we all learned it 2 years, and then you choose. And I chose 4 languages because I love languages. And but still, English is not always easy, because now writing my songs in English, Dory Jennings, she follows me a long time, and she is from profession editor, and she offered me to look at my lyrics. So every time I write a song, I send my lyrics to her, if it's right English, and it's getting better and better. Last song was only a little small thing, was not good, but we have a lot of laughs, of course, about it too, because I make some stupid mistakes. I translate, and then Google Translate does it not good. It works like that. But it's getting better, and I learn a lot of new words, and also by communicating with the people here on the live streams, I learn a lot of new things in English language. So that's really nice. I love that.
Oh, wow. That is so cool to hear. For our next question tonight, I was wanting to ask, how do you learn a song? Like, what's your process when you're learning to cover something?
I tell you, I learned a lot of covers, and first I learned the covers. I knew the songs already, of course, but now people ask me sometimes, can you sing this or that song? And then I'm going to listen, maybe 3, 4, 5 times, something like that. And then the melody is in my head. It goes quite quickly. And then I look up for the chords, of course. And a lot of songs are too high, because I was a soprano once when I was young, and now I'm alt. You say alt?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so a lot of songs are too high, so I have to transpose, or I use my capodastro, because my voice is really very low compared to when I was young. And it goes very quickly. I don't know. It's not difficult for me to learn new songs, and I make them a bit mine, because I have my own way of that word in English, finger picking. I have my own way finger picking the guitar, and so I do it my way.
Absolutely. It's so important to make a song your own, and it's super interesting to hear about how you learn music. I know each musician has their own different like musical process, so it was super cool to learn some about how you do that.
Yeah, it's also with songwriting. I always first hear a melody. That's the first thing what comes to me, and I say it's like a gift, something like that. Like I just wrote a new song last 2 days, and there's coming a melody in my head, and I take my guitar and I'm going to play it, and I always record it on my phone, because if I don't, it's gone. It comes so spontaneously and naturally. Is that the right word? Yeah, I think so. So I play that and I record it, and then the words come to. They come quite easily. Yeah, I don't know how it how it works. It's magic. It's magic. I always say it's. I'm so happy with it, and but also. What's important, I think, is one of the questions. I wrote it down. The songs are meaningful most of the times because they are connected to something what happens in my life. But it can be very little things. Like my bird song, I was singing last, I think 1 year ago, something like that. I was singing outside and the birds were singing with me. And when I stopped singing, the birds stopped singing. That was crazy. And then I really had to write a song for the birds. So it works like that. And then the melody comes and then the words are coming. And I also write songs when sad things happens in my life. I'm getting older. When you're getting older, you're losing more people. That's inherent of getting older. But that's very sad. And it's a way of expression, to express myself and about how I feel.
Absolutely. Music is a great way to express emotions and musical inspiration. I always say inspiration can come at any time. I've been up at 1 o'clock before writing music, so.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
I know, and I know with my family, a big thing for my aunt, she is huge in music, and she always wrote music in Polish and sang it in Polish. And then she started writing in English, and I know it helped her English, like her learn English quite a lot. And I wanted to know if writing music in English has helped you learn it.
It helps me a lot to learn the language better. Yeah, of course. But what's strange, what I think is strange, I tried to write in my own language, but it still didn't happen. So that's strange. So I think a lot in English now. That's what's happening. And yeah, I did try to write a song in my language, but maybe it will be there in a month or a year or 2 years. No idea. But I love to write in English. It's quite, naturally, I think it works like that for me.
Wow, that is so interesting. I wanted to go ahead and switch gears in the interview and talk a little bit about your experiences live streaming. What are some tips you have learned from live streaming?
Learned what's very important for me, just be yourself. And that's the most important thing. Just be yourself. And you make mistakes. You may make mistakes. In the beginning, I said sorry. And then I learned, why do I say sorry? Because you don't have to say sorry. Everyone is making mistakes. That's life. And what learned me that it brings joy to myself, but also to other people. And comfort, is that the right word? Comfort. When some people asking me for for example, I wrote a song. My mother had dementia, Alzheimer. She died in 2015. I wrote a song about the last time she was in my house. And some people, they have the same thing with their mother. And then they ask me, can you sing that song? So, yeah, songs can comfort people. And I think that's beautiful. And because, yeah, that's beautiful. What I learned from my God, Betty, to put on some lipstick. So I always put on some lipstick when I'm singing. I think it's nicer way to see because you're singing, you're moving your mouth, and it's nice. It brings happiness. It makes it. What I learned, of what I got, I made many friends. I'm saving money to go to the USA. I hope in 2025. And so many people offered me that I can stay in their house when I'm traveling. So that's really so nice and beautiful.
And I know that we had a few. We went to a different state where we live, in Georgia, and so many people came down from different states so we could all meet up. And so many people offered for us to stay at their house and stay there while we were down there. And it was very nice because it really shows the big community and friends that you can build off just from being online.
Yeah, for me, it's beautiful, and what I found out that especially, I think most of times on Socially Distant Fest, the people are so kind, always kind and supportive. That's the right word, I think. And that really makes you to want to sing more. It's beautiful, and the people are really so kind. It's beautiful. How do you say? It's a beautiful place to be. I don't think in finding inspiration, I'm not searching for it. It's there or it's not there. And I think, like I told you about the bird thing, I find it in daily things, but it always comes spontaneously. It always comes naturally. I'm not searching for it.
Absolutely. It's such an important topic to bring up. Just let inspiration come to you. You don't always have to search for it.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that searching, like just letting inspiration come to me, is something that I had a hard time with. Because, I'm someone who just, if I just want to get it done. Like, I work on one project, I finish it, and I start another. And I hate, stopping in the middle of writing something. So I'll sit there and I will listen to songs and I'll search for it. But now it's more of just, if like what you said, if it's there, it's there. And if it's not, it's not. And it's just it's more of a thing where I have to get it done. It's just something I've always done. So it's been easier for me to just let it come to me instead of searching for it.
Yeah, I think it makes it easier, because searching, then you're like this, search, yeah. And yeah, it will come or not.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching now, if you guys want to go listen to her music, I will have the link linked in the description too. So just click below and it'll be on there.
Yeah, Socially Distant Fest, you can find a lot of videos over there. And sometimes I sing on a Canadian site as well.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I had a great time talking with you. You had so much great insight, and it was so interesting.
Thank you for having me. It was very nice. And it's great that it's possible, you're on the other side of the world. So that's amazing, beautiful, that's possible.
Absolutely. It's so cool that we're able to connect with people from everywhere.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. We loved having you on. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Wow, the interview was so good. I loved it so much. Linda, your mic is muted.
I loved interviewing her because of the language barrier I have with my dad's side of the family. And it's nice to be able to have an interview with someone where there is that little bit of language barrier just because I relate to it so much in my personal life.
Absolutely. And I loved all of her great advice too. There was so much great stuff in there. Definitely some stuff I'm going to take away from that interview. It was so powerful and I super loved it.
Yeah, and I love that she has a whole plan of the year that she wants to come here. It was amazing. Loved it. Easily one of my favorites.
Absolutely. So we had a few stuff we wanted to talk about before we sign off today. First is we have our merch shop open. We did a launch a few weeks back. So if anybody's interested in any of our merch, we have the link in the description. So make sure you go check that out if you're interested.
Yeah, it has like the basics like sweatshirts, shirts, all that. But then we also have stuff like mugs, hats, and a bunch of cool stuff. There's always new stuff coming on there as well.
Absolutely. And next week, we are also going to be introducing a new segment. We're calling it 5-Minute Current News. So we're going to be going over all current events that have happened during that week. There's just a lot of stuff going on right now in the world with female empowerment. And it's something that we wanted to go ahead and add onto the shows.
Absolutely. And I think that I was so happy when Lilly brought this idea up because there are either things that have been going on for multiple weeks or new things going on every week. And I think it's really important to draw attention to those things and not just kind of overlook them.
Absolutely. And make sure to remember too, at the end of this month, we are doing our movie discussion on Moxie. So if you guys want to watch the movie along with us, we have the link in the description. You guys can watch it on Netflix. I'm excited to watch it. I've heard some great things about it, and yeah, I'm really excited. So if you guys want to watch it along with us, make sure you guys click that link and stuff.
Yeah, Moxie's the movie that I picked out because I am in love with the movie. It's just such a good movie, and you can find it on Netflix. Watch it if you can because it's amazing. I love it so much.
I haven't seen it yet, but I am so excited to watch it. And we also have our TikTok up. We've been working really hard on being active on there. So if you guys want to go and follow us, it's Orchid Times Show. We're on TikTok, Instagram, our Facebook groups. Make sure you guys go follow. We're working really hard on TikTok. And I'm really excited to keep on posting new content on there.
Yeah, we're growing huge on our Facebook page right now, and we want to grow bigger so that our message gets out to more people and we can grow bigger and hopefully one day be able to interview in person.
Absolutely. And make sure you guys stay tuned for next week's interview. We are going to be airing an interview we did with Olive, an actor. She's an amazing actress, and her interview was amazing. And I'm so excited to show you guys.
Yeah, her interview was great, and I can't wait to have you guys see. Actually, we have a lot of interviews lined up that are really great too. Not just Olive's, although hers was chef's kiss. Love that interview. But we have so many great things lined up. So make sure you stay tuned for that and tune in every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for being here, watching, and supporting us today. See you guys next week.